Okay, I won't tell you if I
Oh
start
no!
recording.
I feel like you're already recording.
No. Hold on. Okay.
um.
Okay.
Oh man, I don't know if like I don't have an intro for this, so whatever. I can't. I'm sorry. Cut it. Got it. I'm getting too in my head. Oh my
Okay.
gosh, it's so weird to like record with another person. I'm so nervous about this, anyways.
Okay.
Oh
Just
my
tell me
god,
when.
are you still?
Tell me when.
Oh
Tell me
my
when.
fucking god.
Just tell me when.
Okay. Yes, yeah, go.
Okay.
So here we are on day 2, I guess, of my Unus Annus tribute video every day. A little later than I had intended, but you know how the day gets crowded and life gets crowded and things. So, anyways, so today was the video. The first video of Unus Annus was cooking with sex toys, and that was an interesting one. I think a lot of people really liked it, and like Mark and Ethan seemed to just have a freaking blast with that. But for me, it wasn't really like one of my favorite videos. And I have some like I have some mixed thoughts about it. But you know, it's everything. Like every video was fun and experimental in its own way. So, um, but yeah. So some thoughts I wanted to do. So I am, as part of my Unus Annus tribute for the day, I am going to make some scrambled eggs as a way to kind of commemorate this particular video. And I don't have a plan for every video that I have written down. I just, for this one, it seemed fitting. So, um, and I have some like sautéed mushrooms that also need to get cooked. So I'm gonna throw those in as well. So, uh, okay, what do I have? I have a lot of things I feel like I have to say about this video though, and um, so for starters, one thing that I really did like about this video was I actually watched it with another person. I think actually maybe perhaps like the second time I watched it was with another person. But one thing I thought was very interesting was um, I watched it with this particular person because this person like I don't know if YouTube's going to get me in trouble for talking about this, but this person I think like builds furniture as well as like BDSM sort of furniture. So, anyways, I was like, oh, like here's these goons on YouTube using fucking sex toys to cook with. Like, there's gonna be an audience for whatever you're making too. So, that's what like kind of I thought of as well. And it was really nice watching this video with that person because I really have like a great deal of admiration and respect for them. And uh, it's just like, oh man, that was like such a weird night, but it was fun. But anyways, one thing I thought was very interesting was this person didn't really seem to appreciate the video very much because, for one, he was like, oh, you could be doing so many more enjoyable activities with those sex toys, right? But also, like, he particularly took issue with the fact that Ethan added salt to his eggs before adding them to the pan, and I think you're supposed to add salt to the eggs at the end of cooking them, right? Um, I only know that I think because of Hot Ones. Who is it? Gordon Ramsay was on Hot Ones and he showed the host of Hot Ones. I'm spacing on his name, Sean. Anyways, but showed him how to scramble eggs, and I think yeah, it's like something about you're supposed to season at the end. I'm not sure why. I'd be interested to Google why do you salt your eggs after scrambling them, but we never know. But anyways, so I remember really enjoying watching that video with somebody who I admire. So that was a very nice experience for me while watching Good Sons. So, anyways, I'm scrambling eggs today because also I kind of want to have a little tribute to Anthony Bourdain. In his cookbook Appetites, he talks about breakfast. He has all these different pieces of information about different sorts of meals and different people he's interacted with, and his kind of takes on what what's worth cooking, or what parts of breakfast are the most important. He has some bit about scrambling eggs where I think some cook that he has worked with, I can't remember the name of. I might have to pull that up. But anyways, he talks about this other cook says, scramble your eggs with a fork, and Anthony Bourdain being the type of person that he is, I think, is just kind of like, like you just do this thing, and this is the way that it is. And he kind of says, if this person says you scramble eggs with a fork, you don't ask questions, you just scramble eggs with a fork. So that's something I kind of take with me, and whenever I scramble eggs, and I think about that. And I feel like that's something else to say. So one thing that was interesting about when Anthony Bourdain said, if somebody was like, oh, you should have scrambled eggs with a fork because you scratch your pan. I've noticed the forks at Chipotle are pretty good for scrambling eggs. Like, if you're gonna try this, because if you do it at a low enough heat, you obviously don't want to be having your pan too high heat, because then you will melt the plastic. But at this low heat, my fork is still intact, and it's scrambling and whipping these eggs beautifully. So, and it also it's malleable enough that it also works as a rubber spatula. So this is how I cook my eggs. And I'm trying to think. I feel like there was something else I wanted to. Oh my god, it looks so disgusting. Why are you doing this? But yeah, I just the mushrooms weren't very aesthetic choice. I usually when I scramble eggs, I will actually saute some red pepper. I'll just kind of slice that up into nice little bits and saute that. Sometimes I'll kind of boil some quinoa and make a nice little egg wrap. There's so many things you can do with breakfast. But anyways, I just wanted to kind of have respect for one of the most significant, one of the most iconic Unus Annus episodes, I feel, was the cooking with sex toys, because it's the first, and there's so many things, I think, with the first video that is made sometimes that kind of sets a certain tone. And it had that moment when they rewatched it in the farewell video where Ethan said, that moment where they were like, oh, we don't know if this is going to work, and they put the dildo on the drill, and then they fired it, and then they just laughed, and then Ethan said, oh no, and that just being the whole tone of Unus Annus, will this work? Laughter, and then just panic. I think that's really it's a really interesting idea that was sort of setting such a tone for Unus Annus. So I know there's definitely okay, I probably fucked up these eggs in a certain way. I think that you're supposed to take them on and off the heat. Just if you watch the Hot Ones episode with Gordon Ramsay, he walks you through it. It's fine. But it's interesting because I think that we have certain ways that we like to cook things, with certain ways that we think things ought to be cooked. And I don't know. Kind of sometimes at the end of the day, it's why is that the technique? Why is that the thing? Is there a reason for why that should be cooked in that way? When the culinary arts. And sometimes it's just at the end of the day, we just all eat, right? I'm going to actually grab that book and pull that quote if you want to follow me. Let me see if I can find it. So yeah, this is actually, I really love this book. I don't use it or anything, but I love that I have it. I got this I got this when he toured at the Fox, I think 2018. It was shortly before his death, actually, and Memento Mori, right? And just what an iconic. And I think it's assigned to this. It was just a really lovely. It's so funny because we got this as a token of just doing extra work. Between shows, we helped clean the theater, and then my boss was like, "Here, you can either do this or get $20 on your paycheck." And I'm like, "I will take the book." So let me see if I can find that bit though. I think it's just such a, I don't know, man. He's just got so. So his whole breakfast. I did read his whole breakfast thing. So yeah. So he has scrambled eggs. Escoffier was said to beat his eggs for scrambling with a fork, a secret clove of garlic affixed to the tines. I don't do that. I believe in egg, salt, black pepper, and the whole butter that the eggs are cooked in. I do, however, use a fork. And yeah, some insufferable food nerd was commenting on an episode of one of James Pippin's PBS cooking shows, or Jack Pippin. I'm saying that name wrong, and I know it. Cooked scrambled eggs in a nonstick pan and stirred them with a fork. The offended poster worried out loud that the metal fork would be destructive to the nonstick pan surface. You know what? As Jack Pippin tells you how to make a fucking egg, the matter is fucking settled. Fuck nuts. Go back to arguing about bundt cake recipes. Like, that's so iconic to Bourdain's, like, attitude, just like, you respect the certain people that tell you how to do a thing in a certain way, like, and I think that's really cool. So I carry the memory of Anthony Bourdain with stirring my eggs with a fork, as well as also honoring those other cooks whose names I have butchered. Please tell me in the comments of how I've butchered them and link me to how to say them correctly. So anyways, I'm gonna eat, but I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. All right, that's it.